Hey guys, it's me Simo Orohara, and in this video, we will continue the topics we started in the last video. In the previous video guys, we talked about the fate of Yorichi and Kira after the Great War between the Shinigami and the Quincy's, focusing on the events that took place as mentioned in the novel We Do Not Always Love You. This time guys, I want to talk about Ichigo and his father Isshin. What were the most important things that happened to them? The events that I believe we must see glimpses of it, as well as some information of Rukia's within. So this time guys, we rely on both novels, as both contain some information about Ichigo and Isshin. However guys, I must say that the novel Can't Fear Your Own Word does not feature any specific events related to Ichigo. In other words, Ichigo himself doesn't appear or speak, and from what I have read, the novel's author narrator has a habit of not including the main protagonist in such novels. That's why even in the 8th Kenpachi's novel, you won't find any scene featuring Ichigo. Of course, as we mentioned, the novel's main events take place 6 months after the war, but the beginning of part 1 describes what happened right after Ichigo's battle with Yubaba. Among these events is Ichigo, Orihime and Isshin visiting Kukaku and Ganju's house. However, before diving into this event in detail guys, I must say that the anime should add some extra scenes after chapter 684. I want to know what happened to Ichigo, Uryu and Aizen immediately after Ichigo cut down Yubaba. As you know, chapter 684 ended on this page showing Yuhaba's defeat, while the last 2 chapters focus on events that took place 10 years later. So Kubo skipped over what happened right after the battle, only giving us a short flashback showing Yuhaba's final moments, where he expressed how Ichigo had destroyed his vision of a better world. So why do I say we should see or should have seen what happened after chapter 684? Because for example, we could have seen Ichigo's meeting with Uryu, where the latter might explain how he was able to shoot that final arrow and reveal its secret. We could have also learned about Aizen's fate and how he ended up back in the Mugen, as well as getting a glimpses of Rukia and Isshin's conversation, which could have revealed more details about Uryu's hidden power. And that's not to mention guys the fate of other characters who participated in the war. That being said, the novel tells us what happened a few days after the war. While the Shinigami were preparing to return Aizen to Mugen, it was said that Ichigo, Orihime and Isshin were at Kaku's house. And this means that after Yuhaba's defeat, Ichigo didn't return to Karakura town immediately, but instead spent a few days in the Soul Society. And this is actually similar to what happened at the end of the Soul Society arc. Ichigo stayed in the Soul Society for a few days, during which he roamed around Seiriji, met with several characters and finally met Rukia at Kaku's house, before leaving with his friends through the official Senkaimon Gate. So maybe Ichigo remained in Soul Society after the war until the official Senkaimon Gate was prepared. However, as I mentioned guys in previous videos, what intrigues me the most is Ichigo's visit to Kaku's house, because the last time Ichigo went to her he was unaware of the truth about his father's identity or that Kaku was his cousin. Back then Kukaku had said that Ichigo must be sent to the Royal Pass, even if it will sadden our uncle, referring to Isshin. Now Ichigo will meet Kukaku knowing the full truth that she is family. Not only that, but this time Isshin will be with them, and this is what excites me the most. I want to know what Isshin's relationship was like with Kukaku and Ganju when he was a captain. He must have visited them in Rokungai, especially since Isshin was a captain when Kaien was also in the Goto 13, the vice captain of Gitaki. Given that Shiba clan had 2 important figures, one as a captain and the other as a vice captain. And this meeting guys might also reveal information about Isshin's brother, his full name and what he was doing when he was alive. One of the strongest theories suggests that he was the previous captain of the 10th division before Isshin succeeded him. So, in the days following the final battle guys, Ichigo and his father went to Kukaku's house before eventually returning to Karakura town. So, and 6 months later, Ichigo and his family and his friends planned a trip to another region in Japan for vacation. And I believe this was a move by narrator to keep Ichigo away from the events happening in Karakura-chan. Ora was working on isolating the city and dealing with other matters, and if Ichigo had been there, things wouldn't have been as simple. That's why, as I said, Ichigo was absent from all the events of the novel, but he was mentioned in certain situations. For example, during the meeting between Yoriichi, Byakuya and Tokinada, the latter suggested bringing back the Shiba clan among the noble house, with Ichigo as its new head. However, this proposal was of course rejected. On the other hand, guys, Rukia's novel Or We Do Not Always Love You is where Ichigo was actually present. The events take place 3 years after the war, during which Ichigo was studying English literature at university, something he had been interested in from the beginning. And around that time, Rukia and Renji announced their desire to get married. As a result, Ichigo, Orihime and their human friends began preparing gifts for the couple, with some events unfolding at Ichigo's house. And later, Ichigo, Orihime, Chad and Oryu traveled to Soul Society to attend the wedding. Honestly guys, from how the novel describes it, the events were truly wonderful and full of emotions. Reminded me of the final episode of Naruto Shippuden, where everyone was preparing for Naruto and Hinata's wedding. In the novel, it's mentioned how Renji was standing in his groom's attire. Then Byakuya walks in with Rukia, dressed as the bride. Ichigo and the others watched the beautiful scene, and Ichigo holding a camera while Orihime cried tears of joy. So Byakuya whispered to Rukia saying, "I wish you happiness." And there were many other heartwarming moments that truly deserve to be animated, guys. The novel ends just before Ichigo and the others return to Karakura. And that's when Renji tells Ichigo that he should be honest about his true feelings for Orihime and admit that he loves her. Final scene is Ichigo trying to confess to Orihime. So everything, guys, that followed is quite clear. Kubo confirmed that Ichigo and Orihime officially started dating as working adults, later got married and eventually had Kazui. And that leads us to the events of chapter 686 and the Hell one-shot. However, what I really want to know is how strong Ichigo has become now. Has he stopped training and settled into a normal life like any other family man, or has he continued training in some way? I believe he must still training because his son Kazui has already awakened his Shinigami powers and even has a Zanpakuto. So I doubt Kazui could have done all that on his own. I just hope we got to see this side of Ichigo in the Hell arc. And also guys, as I said, I want to see this novel as a anime. Maybe the last 2 episodes will focus on these events, and then we see the final chapter, I mean here 685 and 686, and who knows, we could see also the one-shot. So guys, let me know what you think about this information about Ichigo, either his meeting with Kukaku and also the wedding. Tell me guys your opinions in the comments, and see you guys in my next video.